originally used as a pine plantation and a lot of hay production over the years, and then it went dormant for over a decade without any use of it being done other than just the pines growing. So when we got it in 21, we put cattle, sheep, pigs, chickens on there, both being layered and broilers, and we are still continuing to do all those enterprises today with near-term plans to expand into honey production and market garden production, growing local vegetables. We are also looking into hosting a lot of events like workshops, festivals, and also long-term future plans of having Airbnbs for little local country getaways. So this is what we call eddy covariance tower, aka flux tower, and what this does is measure carbon emissions and greenhouse gas emissions. So, and that measures it 24/7, 365, and that tells us how we are doing in our management principles and how much carbon drawdown in greenhouse gas emissions. So we will put our market garden production in this front corner pasture here.
Okay.
Our plans are to move that house over right behind us with the other house and move them coincidentally next to each other. There's a regenerative farm out of Wisconsin who developed a system called the hen pen. And so as you see with our chickens, we have poultry netting, and it can be very cumbersome, especially when you have a lot of brush and sticks, and it's a lot of labor involved with it. They put the fence on a railing system, connected it to the house, and so all you have to do is just hook up to the house and it moves all together. You cut down your labor from an hour and a half plus to just 15 minutes moving the house.
Now, do you have that already, or it's
so
coming?
We're designing that.
Okay.
So we move the house, but what we have to do right now is we have to physically pick up the fence and set it.
I see.
And that just takes a lot of labor and
They have a
leads
whole
lot of
thing, you just
frustration.
move it one go.
So my dad was born and raised in Rockdale, South Carolina. He went to Clemson to get his bachelor's degree in animal and dairy science.
Right.
And then he went to get his PhD in poultry science and animal genetics and physiology at Louisiana State University. He then went to teach at Louisiana Tech and Mississippi State for a combined 15 years in academia, and then left in the year 2000 when I was born to go into private business. And now he's grown it to having his own farms across the country, and as well as the world-renowned ag consulting company called Understanding Ag, to where they do a lot of consulting. They do a lot of workshops with the Soil Health Academy. They have a fairly new company called Regenerative, which is a regenerative verification company to make sure farmers are truly farming and ranching regeneratively. And then we're also involved in a lot of TV series, documentaries, podcasts, and etc. And then you'll see hay in spots. So two reasons for that. One was in winter prevention / preparation, and that goes back to having ground cover, and especially with how wet it's been this winter, the chickens will create a lot of bare soil if you leave them too long. And so we use the hay to help mitigate that along with the pigs. So most conventional farms, they don't do pasture-raised birds, and it's kind of self-explanatory in a way. So pasture-raised is obviously, they're not locked in the house, they're free to roam within the pasture, and like I talked about a few minutes ago, get a lot of their diet from the forage. So that means, you know, a lot of the grasses, and then a lot of the insects and other microbiology that's roaming around. When you have a conventional, particularly on the more traditional side of things, they're locked in a house all day. They get very limited to no exterior sunlight, and so the birds have a lot more health issues. They don't get the nutrient density, and they just don't taste as well. And of course, our birds are exposed to sunlight as much as they wish. They're foraging out as much as they can, and so that provides them with a healthier coat and a lot healthier immune system as well. So they're a lot less susceptible to disease and whatnot.
And as you can see right now, they're getting their food from foraging right now. You can see them pecking in the ground. You may see some that's doing a little scratching, but as Chris says, you know, trying to keep them away from the bare soil. So once they move, you really see them in action once they get to a new foraging place.
And see, they're scratching, it does a really good job, adds a lot of natural fertility for the soil as well, because they're kind of breaking up some things and dropping a lot of their urine and manure in there and creating a lot of extra fertility from the chickens roaming around. So chickens are very, very good for building soil fertility and topsoil. So Regenerative is a company that was developed by Understanding Ag. I believe they launched in late 2022, and they are a regenerative verification or certification company. And unlike all the others, you have to be re-verified every month, and you cannot stay in a level. So it's a 5-tier system. You have, I believe, 3 years to move up in tiers. So you can't stay stagnant. So that verifies that you are continuously growing and improving. And it's also one of those, like a lot of other certifications, you just can't pay off as well. So we developed the Regenerative system to be true and to continuously improve, because regenerative is not a destination, it's a journey.
There's a lot of people can use the term regenerative, but once you step on the farm, we're gonna be able to see if you're really regenerative, which regenerative stands for farming and ranching in synchrony with nature and the 4 ecosystems to repair, rebuild, restore, revitalize, and as you can see here, starting with life below the soil to bring life above the soil.